The Taliban are feared all around the world as a result of their inhumane and terrorist activities. Targeted killings, bomb blasts, beheadings, and suicide attacks. Whatever the crime, the Taliban has been part of it. Now, what if we tell you that there was a man whom even these vicious people were afraid of? Someone who was so vile and cruel that he enjoyed beheading a man and then proudly accepted it. Watch the video till the end as we tell you about the cruelest of the Taliban, Mullah Dadullah, the Taliban leader whom even the Taliban feared. Early life. Born in 1966, Dadullah was a native of the Kakar tribe in Kandahar province. He received his education in a madrasa in Baluchistan and practiced Deobandi Sunni Islam. Right from the beginning, he was angry and cruel by nature. This was evident when he joined the Taliban at an early age, as he was widely known as the Butcher among Taliban members for his violent outbursts, particularly when he chopped off the heads of individuals. While fighting for the Afghan Mujahideen in the 1980s against Soviet occupation, he lost a limb and ended up receiving a prosthetic leg from a hospital in Karachi, Pakistan. He continued his journey to the top, and before the US-led invasion in 2001, he was a member of the Taliban's 10-person leadership council. He oversaw the suppression of the Hazara uprising in the Bamiyan province in 1999-2000. Not only this, a Hazara rebellion was fought in the Yakhal region in January 2001 by Dadullah's soldiers. Other than that, he oversaw the Bamiyan Buddha's demolition on March 10, 2001, as per Mullah Omar's directive. Fortunately enough, Dadullah evaded capture by Northern Alliance soldiers in Kunduz province after the Taliban government was overthrown in December 2001. A fearless man. He had a reputation for being a fearless guy, and in spite of his disabilities, he fought and oversaw crucial fights for the Taliban in the 1990s against the opposing Northern Alliance forces. After the US-led invasion of Afghanistan in 2001, he was one of the first Taliban leaders to plan assaults against coalition forces, and after the Taliban rule was overthrown, he was the first Taliban commander to give interviews to print and electronic media. For religious and security grounds, some Taliban commanders refused to be photographed. Mullah Dadullah did the exact opposite. Following the Battle of Mazar-e-Sharif in November 2001, 1,000 American ground personnel were airlifted into the city amid rumor that Dadullah may be preparing to retake the city with as many as 8,000 Taliban fighters. He is also accused of taking part in the 2003 murder of Ricardo Munguia by reportedly using a cell phone to issue commands. He and 3 others were given a life term in prison in absentia in 2005 by Pakistan for attempting to kill Mohammad Khan Sharani, a member of the Jamiat Ulema-e-Islam party, and the country's parliament. Sharani, who himself is against Taliban foe, escaped an IED blast in his Baluchistan home district in November 2004. Running major operations. Dadullah was associated with Shia killings, the scorched earth policy of Shia villages in 2001, about which he once rejoiced on the radio, and the hanging of individuals accused of tossing hand grenades into his complex in 2001. They were hanged near one of the major roundabouts in public for everyone to see. According to interviews he gave to the BBC, he allegedly had hundreds of suicide bombers waiting for his orders to attack NATO soldiers. Moreover, Dadullah oversaw Taliban talks leading up to the March 2007 kidnapping of Italian journalist Daniele Mastrogiacomo and his 2 Afghan aides. Later, Mastrogiacomo's chauffeur was beheaded. Mastrogiacomo apparently traded hands for Ustad Yasir, Abdul Latif Hakimi, Mansour Ahmad, Dadullah's brother, and 2 commanders named Hamdullah and Abdul Ghaffar, together with 5 top Taliban figures. According to a Western intelligence source, Dadullah might have been operating out of Quetta, Pakistan. Other people, like the Pakistani authorities, asserted that he was conducting business close to Kandahar, Afghanistan. He claimed to command 12,000 soldiers and 20 districts in the southern provinces of Kandahar, Helmand, Zabul, and Uruzgan, the former Taliban stronghold. If his activities and numbers don't give you an idea, according to reports, Dadullah was a key player in the Taliban's recruiting of Pakistani nationals. He was also one of the group's top speakers and frequently met with Al Jazeera television reporters. He was purportedly sent by Taliban's leader Mullah Omar to South Waziristan in the summer of 2006 to persuade the region's Pashtun insurgents to accept a ceasefire with Pakistan. As part of a reconciliation deal with the Taliban to end the ongoing war, it was believed in October 2006 that the Afghan government was considering handing Dadullah leadership of the defense ministry. leading the way. On March 29, 2007, the Taliban threatened to assassinate Ajmal Naqshbandi, an interpreter who was one of the 2 Afghan assistants, unless the Kabul administration released 2 Taliban captives. After the Afghan government refused to release any other Taliban captives, Ajmal was beheaded by Dadullah. Apart from him, he also slaughtered and beheaded Afghan villagers and let everyone know that he was a cruel and ruthless commander. Mullah Dadullah was involved in a number of major crimes, including the beheading of alleged spies, running the guerrilla war in Helmand province, sending out suicide bombers, and abducting Westerners, including an Italian journalist and 2 French humanitarian workers. His reputation for being one of the Taliban's most ruthless and violent leaders grew day by day as he went on to become Taliban's most important military leader, especially in the south, where close-quarters battles were particularly intense. He allegedly had a front by his name that did most of his dirty work. The murder of Maulawi Arsala Rahmani, a member of the High Peace Council, was the doing of Mullah Dadullah's front. This was the first major mission of his front, as it was picked up on by some of the media along with Afghan officials. Furthermore, the assassination of a member of the Kandahar Provincial Council was also the work of Dadullah's front. Not only the assassinations, but Mullah Dadullah Front was responsible for a suicide attack on a bathhouse in Spin Boldak, along with several other high-profile attacks, including a complex suicide assault on a U.S. combat outpost in Kandahar City that claimed the lives of 6 U.S. and 2 Afghan soldiers. The death. After almost 2 decades of violence and cruelty by Dadullah, Afghan officials announced on May 13, 2007 that Dadullah had been killed the day before in a raid by NATO and joint Afghan and British Special Forces, which is believed to have included Sea Squadron Special Boat Service. According to some rumors, Dadullah was killed in the Gershk area, while according to others, he was killed close to the Sengan and Nari Saraj districts, while according to NATO, Dadullah was reportedly killed by Afghan and Western soldiers in the Helmand province. The body of Dadullah was on display at the governor of Kandahar province, Azadullah Khalid's official mansion. 2 bullet wounds in the torso and 1 in the back of the head were seen on the body. After more than a month of back-and-forth talks, the Taliban on June 7, 2007, claimed that they had received Dadullah's body in exchange for 4 kidnapped Afghan Health Ministry employees. The Taliban claimed that a 5th hostage had been executed as a result of the delay in getting Dadullah's body back. Due to the Taliban's ad hoc command structures and the fact that militants frequently work in tiny autonomous units, it is often challenging to determine how his death will affect the insurgency. He was the Taliban's leader, and his death will undoubtedly have an impact on the Taliban's dominance in the south. Dadullah's network after his death. After his assassination, Mullah Bakht Muhammad, his younger brother, not only acquired control of the position but also changed his name to Mansur Dadullah, which in Arabic means one who triumphs. The original Dadullah had built a network of his own that, due to his position, was significantly more independent from the Taliban leadership than is typical in southern Afghanistan. He was credited with recreating most of the Taliban's military apparatus following its defeat in 2001. It crossed tribal boundaries, expanded beyond the traditional Kandahari zone, and maintained financial independence. It continued to function within the network of networks created by the Taliban. But because of his special position, Dadullah developed a kind of hubris that ultimately led to his demise. He may have even lost Mullah Omar's favor when he presented himself as the Taliban's official spokesperson and military supreme man, a position he had never actually held. Not only that, when he was alive, Mullah Omar reportedly removed him from command at least twice because of his aggressive behavior and policies. Bakht Muhammad, aka Mansur Dadullah, was able to preserve some of his killed brother's status after he passed away on May 11, 2007, thanks to funds that were given to him directly by Arab benefactors who were respecting his brother's hero status. But Mullah Omar, the Taliban's leader, no longer put up with the Dadullah's excesses. Mansur Dadullah was demoted in December 2007 for persistently disobeying orders. Furthermore, he was said to have been detained in Pakistan in January 2008, and the journalist Syed Salim Shahzad, who was assassinated in Pakistan, reported that he was released in April 2011. The Mullah Dadullah's front became completely autonomous, and the Taliban spokesman asserted that there was no such organization associated with the Taliban. All of this may suggest that Dadullah's front may have gone undercover and is operating independently. Afghans with links to the Taliban provided the same information, claiming that such an organization did exist but was extremely weak. So whether the Mullah Dadullah Front is a small group of undercover Taliban or a part of the larger Taliban movement is still unknown. Well, that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed the content of the video. If you did, show some love and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on any of the amazing videos we have in store for you.